It's a rainy day in San Diego. I'm here in my car. As you can see, my hair, this is what it looks like when it is completely rained on. It gets curly, and so I'm not hating it. I kind of like it. Anyway, today's video is going to be pretty short because my phone was not charging and I only have about 12%. So I'm going to try to really quickly speak some life into you so I can get this urge off my chest, because every time I make these videos, it's always because I feel filled up and I need to pour out this love and this wisdom and whatever I'm feeling in here. I gotta express it, and I really believe that's the power of God working through my heart to get to your heart. So it's a beautiful thing when you have a relationship with God. So many spiritual things happen. You get revelations, you get these desires that are divine, and you get to experience the joy of giving, being a servant, not from a place of feeling like you have to, but because you feel so filled up. It's coming from a place of overflow. Okay, so in this short little video, I want to talk about something that's super meaningful to me. Many of us, we're born with this script that's like, this is what success is, this is what goals you need to have, this is what's normal for this, and this is what you should have, and this is what you should want. And so when our life doesn't look like that, when we're not getting the results we want, when we don't feel like we have the same desires that we're told we should have, and we feel like our desires are mute right now, or our goals are mute, or we feel like our goals are not big enough, or maybe we don't even have goals. Maybe we feel, if we get honest with ourselves, we feel unfulfilled because we don't have this North Star thing. We don't have this goal in our life that's like, this is what I want, and every day I'm gonna wake up and go after it. I know people who are like that, and I also know people who, they don't have that clarity, and it can be very hard to feel like you don't have this single goal. And God revealed to me something life-changing, and it's changed how I view myself. It's changed how I view my life. It's changed how I view things when I'm not getting the results I want. And it's honestly changed how I view seasons of my life that feel like the wilderness, that feel like the desert. So what God revealed to me is that sometimes our goals, the goals that we have in our life, are not going to be seen or recognized or validated by the public. Okay? So for example, we may have goals that are like, I want to be a good dancer, I want to be successful, I want to be rich, I want to be a singer, I want to be X, Y, and Z. That's external. These are external goals. And so when we have external goals, it's easier for us to see the results. It's easier for us to get the validation and the proof that we're on the right track, because if people are like, wow, you're so amazing, wow, you're so this, wow, I really see this working out for you, wow, your business is looking great, all this stuff, all this external feedback feeds us, okay? But then it will cause us to be reliant on that stuff. That's one group of people, okay? A lot of us don't have it easy like that. We don't have that instant success. Maybe we have to spend time preparing our heart and soul to be able to carry the weight of a business, to be able to carry an identity of a certain position. God can call me to, before I start a business, work in my heart and prune my heart and recalibrate my nervous system to be able to hold space in my life for a business, to be able to accept on a nervous system level having more responsibility in my life to hold a business. But for someone over here, they don't need to do any of that. They just work, and then it just works out for them. That's why in the Bible it says the body has many parts, because some people have this gift over here and other people have this gift. And it doesn't mean that the person that gets it faster has a better gift. It just means that God is, it's just proof that we're all different and we're all made so unique. So while this person has it instantly and is instant success, maybe you're over here and still needing to prune and prepare yourself to hold what you want, because God knows that you're also not going to just hold this thing. You're going to also inspire people on the way. You're going to also help people on the way through the pain you endured of waiting, through the character you've built waiting, from not getting the results that this person over here got so instantly. So back to what I was saying, how this ties into what I'm trying to say, is that while we have many goals, external goals of what we want, of how our life should be, we sometimes will go through dry seasons. And in these dry seasons where we're not getting results, where we feel lost, where we feel like we're not getting feedback, remind yourself, there's two types of goals: external goals and internal goals. And the internal goals are the goals that don't get seen, but they're the ones that shape you. So maybe an internal goal is, I want to have a surrendered spirit. Maybe an internal goal is, God, I know this won't really be recognized by the public, but I want to have a servant's heart. I want to be able to serve people from a place of love and joy. Maybe it won't get recognized, but it will. It's an internal goal for you to work on my heart. So because when God works on the internal part of us, then the external part will come second, and it'll be even stronger. So God works in mysterious ways, and also God works opposite. That's why there's this one verse in Matthew. I'm going to link it right here. I'm going to put it right here if you can read it. Okay, so that verse right there, we can read the words and find the meaning in it, but we could also go deeper and say, like, okay, God works in opposite ways. So maybe the reason why you're not getting the results you want right now, or maybe you feel lost, is because you're only basing your life off of external goals. The only goals you have are external. But maybe God is calling you to go deeper within yourself, to release the pride, to release the need to be recognized, to release the external feedback, to release the need to be seen by others, and let yourself have internal goals for this season of your life. Maybe your focus can be an external goal, but maybe your priority is more of an internal goal for this season of your life. Maybe instead of aiming for having this successful 6-figure business right now that seems so out of reach, that seems to, you have the desire, but you just feel like you're not ready to go after it, and you're still procrastinating, and you're still not showing up for yourself, and you're not proving to yourself and God that you're able to hold space in your life and in your heart and in your nervous system to hold a 6-figure business. And maybe God's like, okay, look, I know you want this 6-figure business, but you're not ready yet. And so I want to redirect you first. I know this is going to be painful. It's not going to be validating. It's not going to be gratifying, because you're going to have to wait. You know, we don't like waiting as humans, but God doesn't mind waiting. And he sure will help us wait and build character in those waiting seasons. But maybe God is trying to redirect your goals right now to get you to a point of putting that to the side a little bit, putting your 6-figure business goal, whatever. It doesn't have to be a business. It could be a job title you want. It could be a certain career you want. Maybe God is calling you to put that goal, that high level goal right now, to the side and embrace those internal goals first. Some internal goals will be learning to be patient, learning to be in the unknown, okay? Building a spirit and a soul that can be okay in the unknown, that can be okay not knowing all the answers. Maybe your internal goals are to feel good about yourself without the feedback or approval of other people. Maybe your internal goals are feeling okay being seen, having your own opinions, and not caring whether you are agreeable or not to people. And God is pruning your heart so you can speak truth and not feel scared that people are going to judge you. You know, there's so many internal goals that we don't even recognize as goals. We think of goals as one thing, like something external that people will see, but there's a whole other side to goals. There's the internal goals that we have that are just as important, that are even more important, because when our heart is attuned to the wisdom and love of God from tending to those internal goals, we're then building a stronger foundation in our life, in our body, to be able to do more things that are going to better the world. Do you see what I'm saying? So it starts in here. And a lot of times we work opposite. We work from the external and then our internal catches up. But God works internal first and then we bloom out. And so if you're in a waiting season right now, this is not a waste of time. It's not that you don't have goals. It's that maybe your goals right now are just not being seen or validated by other people. And that doesn't mean it's not a goal. It's just we have to prune those things in our life that tell us that our goals are only valid if we're being seen, if we're being validated by them. And like I said, God works in opposites. That's why there's a heaven and a hell. There's a spiritual world and a physical world. There's light and dark. There's love and hate. There's good and evil. Just like that, that's a pattern. That's a pattern in the Bible. If that's a pattern in the Bible, then you can apply that same pattern to anything in your life, to your goals. There's internal goals and external goals. So I hope this message spoke to you. Anyway, thank you for watching.